Earlier this year, we asked you to get in touch and help us compile a list of 50 things to eat before you die. The nation's definitive list of must-eat foods, and you guys certainly did. The response was staggering, the results just a little bit surprising. Service! You really are a mixed bunch when it comes to matters of the palate. Some of you chose your favourite ever dish, others picked things you never tried before, but secretly wanted to. Enjoy your meal, sir. Thank you. So, whether you've tried every dish under the sun or you're just looking for a little bit of culinary inspiration, get rid of the TV dinner, make yourself nice and comfortable, and join me for a mouth-watering adventure through the bizarre, the exotic, and delicious 50 things to eat before you die.
I would like to eat, before I die, my executioner.
I wouldn't eat anything that's too slimy and too sensational.
One thing that I'm pretty sure won't be on the list, but I think it ought to be, is brains. Brains on toast.
I wouldn't mind trying that sort of deadly blowfish.
Lots of butter, lots of cheese, anything that's really rich, deep fried.
I think really nice pasta with some white truffle.
I would ask for a lovely risotto.
I was on death row. There's no doubt about it, it would have to be a roast rib of beef.
All right, so what's Ainsley's choice going to be?
I'm going to have to think about that one. But while I do, let's see how you voted, starting with number 50. It's something we've all tucked into at some point in our lives, especially when on holiday.
This is the perfect holiday snack food. You can eat either
hot or cold.
What are we talking about? Cornish pasties!
When I was younger, we used to always go on holidays to Cornwall every year, and we used to buy Cornish pasties from the little shack down on the beach. To me, they just seemed to be like the best thing in the world, and we didn't need to eat anything else when we were on holiday anyway.
The traditional Cornish pasty is made from beef, potato, onion and turnip. It began as a working lunch for tin miners to take underground with them. It was easy to carry. Its distinctive crimped edge meant it could be eaten with dirty fingers. It could even be made savoury at one end and sweet at the other.
Great food, great filler, great travel food.
Astonishingly, only one vote separated the humble working man's Cornish pasty and an altogether different class of food. We're talking about caviar, the rich man's favourite.
Caviar, the eggs of the sturgeon fish. Most of the world's sturgeon caviar is produced in the Caspian Sea. The word caviar means cake of strength, and you'll need a pretty strong bank balance to try it, as I'm about to find out.
If you go to the beluga, cream of the cream, this is the baby. You can see the large eggs, you can see how the grains are very loose, very easy, no stickiness, no extra oil. That one there, the equivalent size of that would be 180 pounds.
That's gorgeous.
Yes, it's a lovely texture. But then if you want to go completely over the top and really splash out on something which is fantastic, you would go to the Almas, which is basically the albino sturgeon.
And what are we talking about here?
That little tin there would be approximately 700 pounds.
Staggering. 700 quid.
And I'm not letting you taste it.
You're not going to let me try that, are you?
Not at all. Not on your name.
She won't let me have any. What's she like?
You know, what's all that about? What's it taste of? And it just gets in your teeth.
So there you have it, everybody. Caviar. It's a pretty rich food in every sense of the word.
I'm on my way from misery to happiness today.
Next up at number 48 is a national dish people either love or hate.
Basically, it's a big joke being played on people who come to Scotland by Scottish people.
This just doesn't look good. Nah.
And there's nothing that would persuade me to eat that, I've got to tell you.
It's like eating an old lady's handbag.
Yes, it's the food that put the heart and all the other bits into Braveheart. It's haggis. Not only is Joe Findlay a butcher, he was a champion haggis maker. Until that fateful day when he let his recipe slip to the current haggis-making champ. OK, Joe, so what makes a really good haggis?
Well, the ingredients for haggis are mostly awful. You have your liver, the lungs and the hearts, and the breast of lamb. Onions to give it flavour, your fat, which adds up a bit moistness to the fat.
And we've got the oatmeal, and we've got some interesting spices here. Tell us what's in here.
Well, we'll have our peppers and salts. And I'm not telling you anymore.
Oh, go on.
No, I'm not telling you anymore. That's our secret.
Is that your secret?
That's our secret.
You've already lost your championship. What's he
I don't
like?
care, I'm not giving you it.
A little dribble of whiskey over the haggis, and it just brings out the flavour of the haggis. It really is fantastic.
Homemade Scottish haggis, but I still can't give you that secret recipe.
Oh, I'm sorry, old chap. That one.
Haggis is such a well-loved dish that the great poet Rabbie Burns was inspired to write a famous poem about it. And not many foods are immortalised in literature. So why not scotch all those rumours about haggis and try it for yourself? From misty Scotland, we now travel to much warmer climes. It's the sun-kissed home of reggae, and a food that's a personal favourite of mine. At number 47, let's spice it up. It's jerk chicken and pork.
The combination of flavours in it seem to be exactly what Jamaica's all about. You know, all peoples coming together, all these different flavours coming together, and nothing overpowers anything. Add lime and rum to it, and you've just got a perfect sort of sunshine holiday dish.
What exactly is jerk? It's a Jamaican method of cooking meat, seasoned with the famous local spice pimento over an open fire. But don't think it's just an ordinary barbecue. There's everyday seasoning, and then there's jerk.
It's the food of the Caribbean. They cook with spice, the jerk seasoning. Oh, it's so tasty, and so many flavours all coming together.
You can smell the pimento coming at you when you walk past the barbecue on the beach, and it just makes your taste buds go mad.
Jamaican jerk pork and chicken. Although I love it, it's just not my number one.
Another sunny setting now. It's Spain, the country where a simple snack can turn into a real feast. At number 46 is the vast variety of tasty tidbits known as tapas.
You can just pick and pick and pick all night, accompanied by a cold beer. There's nothing like it.
Tapas originated in the Spanish province of Andalusia. The word means covers and refers to small portions of food served with drinks as a sort of free bar snack.
Go a little bit inland to where the Spaniards go and what they eat, and it's just, you cannot beat it. Well, we had lots of different dishes. The fish dishes, the boccherones, big juicy olives, little tiny shrimps, the peppers, just fried in olive oil. It's beautiful.
We switch now from a small but perfectly formed snack to a full-scale lunch with all the trimmings. Good old roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. Around the world, it's viewed as our national dish. The French even call us le roast beef.
With it comes all the memories of eating with mum and dad and your aunties and uncles.
I think that is absolutely tragic. Roast beef only at 45.
What looks better on the dinner table, whether you're on your own as a family or whether you've got guests for dinner? To me, roast beef is quintessentially British. It's the best meat that you can have. And I would serve it every day if I could afford it.
Next up, a full rack of meaty, smoky, tender, juicy ribs. Perfect.
Wow. Enjoy your food, sir.
Thank you very much. Few treats in life are better than this. Well, that's what so many of you told us.
They were coated in honey and mustard. Crispy on the outside, really moist and tender on the inside, and very Moorish.
Oh dear, I've eaten so many ribs I can hardly feel my own. I tell you what though, these sticky fingers will come in handy. Getting hold of number 43.
I'll tell you a story about octopus.
Octopus, they can be so tough and chewy. Look at that. Traditionally, in order to tenderise these guys, you bash them against some stone quayside, preferably in a picturesque Greek fishing village. I ain't got one of those, but I got one of these, the next best thing.
The fishermen bring them in, and then they hang them. They literally just hang them on a line, and you see all these little octopuses. And the Greeks walk past going, "Oh, yum, yum." And then the British walk past going,
I was very apprehensive about eating octopus. It's ugly, it's got tentacles, it's got suckers.
There's a waiter brought in this huge platter, and on top of the platter was this massive octopus. And I thought, this looks interesting. And then I noticed that its eye was open.
But I had to go for it, you know, polite society. So I took a bit in my mouth, happened to have a tentacle on it.
And chopped one of its legs off, or the end of it, one of the tentacles, and popped it straight in my bowl.
A mix of the olive oil, a bit of chilli, and then the octopus itself, and it was just gorgeous.
And look at that, guys. Look at the difference. Look how tender this is. You can actually just tear the meat. It's so beautiful. And I think it's probably one of the ugliest things that you could ever eat.
And all the Japanese have looked at me, they're very good delicacy. So I've got the chopsticks and I've sort of gone, and as I was chewing, I could feel it still sort of wriggling.
Octopus, why not try for your family Christmas lunch? That way everyone can have a leg.
And from a really weird animal to a really weird question. What looks like a hedgehog but smells like really stinky feet? No idea? Well, it's this, the ripe and revoltingly rancid durian fruit. Pooh-wee. The durian fruit is native to Malaysia and Indonesia, and thanks to its reputed aphrodisiac powers, it's considered the king of fruits. But the putrid prong is so offensive, some countries have even banned it from public places.
And it is true what people say, it smells so bad you can't even take it onto taxis or tubes or buses. You can't take it onto any public transport at all, so you get fined.
You know, you're walking through the market in Thailand or somewhere and you sort of start surreptitiously looking on the bottom of your shoes, you know, it is disgusting.
When people think about durian fruit, they tend to concentrate on the most appalling smell. And believe me, it's hard not to, but it's also got that wonderful taste. And it's this taste we're going to find out about now. Joining me from Essex is wonderful Simone. Now, Simone, you've never tried durian fruit before, have you?
No.
Yet you've always wanted to.
Yes.
And that's exactly what she's going to do now. It's something she's going to eat before she dies. Hey, come on! So, Simone, what made you decide to do this?
Well, I've heard a lot about this fruit and I want to know if everything they say about it is true.
Well, you certainly come to the right place at the right time. So this is your moment of truth.
It smells like dirty washing up liquid.
It is a bit smelly, as we know.
Tastes all right, actually.
Is it what you expected?
No, it's better, actually. It's creamy and it's really nice.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Maybe next time it will be your turn to try a bit of the old durian fruit. Well, anything smells better after that durian fruit, doesn't it? Luckily, at number 41, it's the gorgeous, ripe, sweet-smelling mango. That's good, you know.
The mango originated in Southeast Asia, where it has been cultivated for over 4,000 years. In India, the mango tree is a sacred symbol of love, with the mystical power to grant wishes, particularly if what you wish for is a delicious piece of fruit. It's hardly surprising that more fresh mangoes are eaten worldwide than any other fruit.
If God made a fruit and put it on the earth, it was definitely the mango. It is beautiful, and it always reminds me of Christmas in Australia because they just come into ripeness.
Really good mango. Now, that is one of the things I could really murder.
I think mango is great, but I understand it does get things moving. Got to be careful, you don't have too much, otherwise you could be busy.
I want that juice, I want it all running over me. That's what I want, that's how I want to go.
There's a joke in Australia that says the best place to eat a bow of mango is naked in the bath because it's quite messy when you eat it.
Mango, one line. Now, even though I adore fresh mango, I'm slightly partial to having it this way.
A mango, one line.
I've now got to shatter the mellow, mystical mango mood and come here.
Right now, guys, it's 40 minutes past the hour, 12 o'clock. I'm at a place called Woolloomooloo Bay. Woolloomooloo? I'll do that again, sorry. Woolloomooloo. 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 Woolloomooloo Bay. And the reason I'm here is because of that Aussie institution over there. It sells meat pies, and loads of you voted for it.
In the centre, they've dug out the middle. They then put mashed potato on top of that. Peas then go on top of that, and then gravy is sort of doused over the top of that. and it really did sort out all of our hangovers.
Yeah, absolutely. The ultimate hangover cure. One of the amazing things when you go to Harry's Café de Wills is you look around the outside of the sort of caravan, there's lots of pictures of famous people. Harry's Café de Wills, Woolloomooloo in Sydney. Beautiful.
These little beauties are hard to catch, but they're well worth the effort. At number 39, it's the scallop.
Oh, Dave, that was fantastic. Oh, listen, look at these guys. I've just caught my lunch. Hey, look at these beautiful scallops, guys. You know what, guys? Some of the best scallops in the world are found in the British Isles. Just look at these. They're absolutely gorgeous. Little treasures, you might call these, from the deep. And they really have a distinct sweet odour about them when they're nice and fresh. That's what you're looking for. So a little bit of butter. I've got a little bit of melted butter going in there. Just a touch of chopped garlic. That's it. And then in with these lovely scallops. Don't let that garlic burn. Just pop them in there like that. Look at these. They're absolutely yummy. Got a little bit of pepper there too. A little bit of lemon juice getting in there now. Inside the shell there. Ooh. I'm hungry. How about you?
I'm not. I'm off. Me too. And me.
Venus, the goddess of love, is supposed to have emerged from the sea standing on a scallop shell, which is maybe why, for years, seafood has been regarded as an aphrodisiac. Nautical, but nice.
Where's the kebabs? Where's the kebabs?
So many of us are used to seeing kebabs like that, just tossed in the street. But there's so much more to them than just an answer to the munchies. Check this out.
Kebab. There is an old joke about kebabs that you've never eaten one sober.
I'm going to have a nice mixed doner and shish kebab with a little bit of hummus, a few olives and a bit of salad.
No problem,
Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
Okay,
Thank you.
Our kebab is a special kebab, and it's a mammut kebab. Mammut's from Limassol in Cyprus. I've never tasted anything like this anywhere else than I've been in the world. It's a 5-course meal which starts with a local sausage called sheftalia. The second course is the shish. The third course is a chop. The fourth part of the meal is goat's cheese, and finally breast of chicken. Just a tint of rosemary, which absolutely sets it off nicely.
How much are you, man?
For hands, it's free, of course. Thank you.
Free. That's why I come
Thank
here.
you very much.
Take
All the
care.
best. Thank you.
See you, boys.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.
Good night.
Donna Kebabs. Lovely girl, Donna.
From the lovely Donna, we move to an altogether different Donna, the one who hangs around with Blitzen and Rudolph and all the others. At number 37, yes, it's reindeer.
I think it's shocking, and I'm very disappointed in all of you that voted for reindeer.
I prefer to have me on a sleigh and to let me... I love reindeer. It's very, very... You know, it's black meat, it's very dark.
The Norwegian friends, they all walked around with this hunk of reindeer meat, dried reindeer meat, a little bit like a cured Parma ham that you'd see in a delicatessen. And they all had this huge, great machete-type knife, and they just kept hunking it off and giving it out as if it was like a tasty snack.
Reindeer live in some of the world's most northerly, inhospitable places. For hundreds of years, native people in these regions have used reindeer for transport, for their warm hides and for their meat.
It was just like beef jerky or something of that ilk, but much richer and a beautiful colour.
If we eat the reindeers, how on earth is Father Christmas going to be able to bring us our Christmas presents?
Your next vote features heavily in native Aboriginal art. It's not just food for the body, but for the spirit too.
The silver barramundi, giant perch or just plain burra. One of Australia's finest sports angling fish and a reputation for fighting back.
It's best to do it up in the Northern Territory, of course, because that's where you find the real stuff. It's wild barramundi. It grows up to 1.5 meters long, probably about so.
And it was a huge piece of white, milky fish, which was wonderful, which fell apart and tasted sweet and salty and like nothing I've ever had.
And And leading barramundi by just one vote is paella, one of the most famous dishes of Spain. A shallow two-handed frying pan, often called a paellera, is placed over a wood fire. Then a wide variety of ingredients are added to the rice. Paella is a dish that sums up the Spanish character. It's colourful, informal, and bursting with the love of the good things in life.
Shells in food shouldn't exist. A good paella takes some beating, I tell you.
From a rice dish that's thrown together in a relaxed way, here's another that's prepared in a very formal fashion. It's sushi at
34.
The thing with sushi is it doesn't really taste like raw fish. What you can taste is the sweetness of the rice and the red-hot wasabi sauce, which is like this green paste, which you get a teeny amount on your sushi, but it blows your head off. It's like horseradish sauce, except about 10 times hotter. The whole idea of eating sushi is about my honeymoon and the whole fabulous experience of going to Japan on our honeymoon. Everywhere we went, we decided to eat sushi in the sushi bars, and they were very small, and they really were the genuine sort of sushi bars that we're starting to see in Britain now.
Wolf a sandwich, wolf a pizza. But take your time over sushi, eat it with a certain respect.
Hey, get away from there! It's 33! It's shark!
Oh, shark. That's just boys' food.
Jaws, we call it. Jaws steaks.
Get away, get away! This is an emergency. I'll deal with it, OK?
Hey, what are you doing, man?
I thought I was doing the right thing.
You've got to cook this gently. I know it's shark meat, but it's delicate. Hey, look, let me show you. Treat it with a little bit of love.
It's a delicate fish in that it's not sort of very fishy flavour, but it's quite meaty, like the texture of tuna steak.
Shark, eh? You guys are really adventurous with your taste. Up next at number 32 is something just as exotic, but a little less dangerous. And just to remind you guys, more people die from bee stings than shark attacks. Hey, just look at this. Isn't she sweet? But in some parts of the world, I'm afraid she's not just sweet, she's savoury as well. And some of you hardy travellers who visited South America have told us that gorgeous little guinea girls like this are not so much family pets, but more family treats.
Guinea pig? Guinea pig? You can't eat guinea pigs.
We were in this local Peruvian eating house, and we did actually have to wait quite a long time for this guinea pig to arrive. But eventually, when it did arrive on a plate, fried, with its legs sticking up in the air, it was quite amusing and a little bit frightening to think we actually had to eat this thing.
The guinea pig is native to the Andes, and when fried or roasted forms the popular traditional dish which dates back at least 15 centuries to pre-Incan times. Such is the guinea pig's popularity. In colonial times, local artists enthusiastically painted pictures of Christ tucking into guinea pig at the Last Supper.
Having eaten the guinea pig, I rearranged the remains into a glass and had its legs sticking up, and you could see its face and the teeth. And it was just a very amusing meal. But it was also very tasty, I must say.
No reason to be squeamish. Good wild meat in plentiful supply. I'd be more than happy to try it.
But now I'm looking for a rather bigger beast. Aha, there's one now. Yes, the buck stops here, because at number 31, it's venison. From the Middle Ages, deer were the object of the hunt, a major source of food, and they've even helped shape the countryside around us.
Yeah, venison is a posh people's thing, isn't it? I can't believe that it's featured so highly on this list.
What about my mum's red bean stew and dumplings? And making a mighty leap into the number 30 spot, it's salmon.
Up and forward. It's like TikTok, if that's it. I'm in the River Tweed in the borders of Scotland, in the most famous salmon fishing river in all of the UK, courtesy of my great friend over there, the Duke of Roxburgh. You all right, Guy?
Absolutely fine, Ainsley.
Fantastic.
We arrived by seaplane to this wilderness with no one around for miles, and we just spent the day out watching the grizzly bears, and then we came back to a juicy, succulent piece of salmon which the bears eat themselves. This meal was probably one of the best meals I've ever tasted. It wasn't just about eating the salmon, it was about the whole experience of watching grizzly bears in the wilderness.
Gordon Ramsay, I think I've caught something. That one's mine, really.
Well, only because I passed the rod to you.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down at all your feet. Take you home with me.
Hey, thank you. Yes, sirree. What better way to begin a hard day's sightseeing than with an all-American diner breakfast?
What is exactly diner breakfast?
More or less the same as the American diner lunch, the American diner
Just
dinner.
huge that you can't finish.
Large amounts
Lots
of
milkshakes.
meat, cow, that kind of thing.
EJ Luncheonette in New York. Fantastic diner. We had to walk 10 blocks every morning to get there, but it was worth every minute. It was just a fantastic plate full of bacon, fried potatoes, eggs any way you want them, and challah bread, which is the most fantastic bread. It's like great big doorsteps, a huge toasted bread. Dip that in your egg. What a wonderful taste.
Everything okay? That'll keep you going.
It probably will. It may well keep me going, but I'm not sure it'll do the same for my heart. Over there is all San Francisco. Hey, it's 4 p.m. I'm still going strong. Let's see if you've got the stomach for our next treat. At number 28 and 15 places ahead of its big cousin, the octopus, we have the leggy legend that's slinky and inky. It's the squid.
I love squid. Squid would be in my top 10, actually.
Even though I'm quite squeamish about things like that, but I do really, really love squid.
Don't understand squid, it's just like a rubber band.
There are over 300 species of squid, and they form part of the cuisine of a wide range of countries, from Japan to Greece, where, of course, we know them as calamari. There's squillions of ways of eating squid. Deep fried with a little squeeze of lemon juice, in pasta with its own ink sauce, or char grill with a little bit of chilli to make it hot and spicy. And talking about things that are hot and spicy, I'm south of the border, down Mexico way.
Tasted lots of fajitas before, including my grandma's. These were just nicer. I thought, oh, I really want to taste these. And the colours on the plate, the guacamole and the beef and the sauces, looked really lovely.
Fajita, all those lovely gentle spices and charred meat. So lovely. But I tell you what, you'd have to be really adventurous to try the Mexican national dish, chicken mole. It's with an amazing chili and chocolate sauce. Fantastic. The United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, and birthplace of the burger.
That's a monster burger. Are you sure you can handle that?
And I'm going to certainly have a go at it, aren't I, eh?
All right.
You think so? Thank you
I'll
very
put
much.
that right in for you.
Cheers, thank you. And I've just ordered this mega burger, and one of the reasons is because Michaela from Manchester, she came here and she ordered exactly the same thing. I'm going to give her a quick tinkle to find out why she voted for a burger.
A burger is one of those things that you will eat and you probably will die if you eat too many of them.
It was as big as my face.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was about, I think it was about 1.5 pounds of steak burger. Oh, you got ham, you got bacon, you got different types of cheeses, lettuce, tomato, gherkins, lots of sauces, and just to top it all off, you got a couple of little olives as well.
Ooh, a bit of Italian then, a bit of European influence.
And a whole plate of fries to go with it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, guess what?
What?
I've just ordered the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'll never manage it.
Oh, I'm certainly going to have a go, though. You take care. Nice talking to you.
All right. Well, good luck with it, Ainsley.
All right, then. Bye. Do you know, rather gruesomely, out of all the foods you voted for, it's this, the humble burger and fries, that's the most popular meal requested by American prisoners on death row. It literally is one of the 50 things to eat before you die.
I am your burger man.
It could be my last meal, I don't know. I love it.
At the halfway point, number 25, we go to the ancient country that gave us philosophy, literature, and the Olympic Games, Greece.
It's not just a nasty, stodgy moussaka. It's something so much more than that. This whole experience of beautifully prepared little plates of salads, olives, meat dishes, pastries, presented to you in such a way that they are all completely irresistible. And even when you're completely full up, you want to carry on eating because it's just such a fantastic experience.
You can forget about Mediterranean romance. This next food's the symbol of the hectic modern lifestyle. At number 24, it's that lunchtime favourite. As much as I like them, I'm really not too sure about your vote on this one. I mean, sandwiches.
Sandwich, is that a food?
The Italian hero's our biggest seller, #1.
Really?
Ham, salami, capicola, bologna, provolone.
Oh, wow, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Would you
OK,
like
I'll
that?
have one of those, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a good, honest sandwich.
No, fish finger sandwich,
Oyster.
fantastic.
That's a meal fit for kings.
Banana sandwich.
The name for the sandwich as an item of food possibly came from John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. It's said that in 1762, he asked for meat to be served between slices of bread to avoid interrupting a gambling game. Wow! Maybe sandwiches are a clever choice after all. It's creamy, it's dreamy, it's the one and only chocolate.
Oh, yes, chocolate.
Wherever you go in the world, there's always a chocolate story to be told. Yet for one lady, it was a 30-year-old promise that came true.
Well, way back in the 1970s, I got a book, a cookery book, and it was food from the Austrian Empire. And one recipe I made from it several times was Sackertorte, which is a very rich chocolate cake which originated from the Hotel Sacher in Vienna. My husband always promised me that one day we'd go to Vienna and have Sackertorte in the Hotel Sacher.
Which I kept, and I took her to Vienna. It was 30 years after she bought the book, but still, it is so rich that they serve it with a glass of water and whipped cream. Now, whipped cream is normally rich, but this was to alleviate the richness of the chocolate and the apricots in the Sackertorte.
In fact, my husband told me that mine was better than theirs, but he didn't tell them.
And next up, another food that can put a spring in your step, but in a rather different way.
Imagine the thickest, juiciest, bestest steak that you've ever had in your life.
G'day, mate. Of course, we're talking about the fair dinkum boomer. Do you know what it is yet? No worries. We're talking about this little fella here. Yeah, go on, chew on that, son.
When you see them bumping around, it doesn't exactly fill your enthusiasm to want to eat one, does it?
I don't really have that much of the kangaroo because every time I cut into it, you just keep hearing that sort of, what's that, Dad? Oh, Dad's fallen down the mine shaft. Stop it, Skippy, stop it.
Sit back, relax, enjoy your lunch, folks.
Here we were on this colonial tram, middle of Melbourne, eating a kangaroo steak. Most enjoyable.
When you taste it, it's really tender and really mouth-watering, and I can't really explain. It's just so enjoyable, and we thoroughly enjoyed the whole meal.
And we don't eat the British bulldog. The Americans don't eat the bald eagle. Australia is the only country in the world where they eat their own national emblem.
At number 21, a rather naughty food that only the grown-ups can really appreciate. Thank you. Well, that puts us in the mood for your number 21, which just so happens to be a well-known aphrodisiac. Do you know what an aphrodisiac is?
Yes, I do.
Aphrodisiac.
That's someone who likes a lot of sex.
Now, sea urchins, now they really are an aphrodisiac.
Makes you feel sexy.
That's it. I once ate 40 sea urchins at a sitting, and I can tell you I was ready for anything, or anyone.
Can you name me one then?
Oysters.
Oysters? Oh, oysters, you say? Thank you. I'd say you'd be correct. Now, it was the great man, Jonathan Swift, the author, who said it was a brave man who first ate one. Oysters are truly the food of love. Casanova was said to start each day by eating 5 dozen of them. It must have worked. He had 122 love affairs and died at 73, exhausted but happy.
Once I had 126 oysters, and I can tell you they don't have that effect.
My wife Claire, her sour cream prune and apple crumble pie, eh? Nah, it's not right, is it? Nah.
It's oh so quiet. Shh, shh. It's oh so still. Shh, shh. You're all alone. Shh, shh. And so peaceful until you fall in love. Sing boom, the sky up above. Sing boom, is caving in.
Oh, loads of you voted for a bite of this. It's alligator!
Alligator?
No.
I don't think you're missing it.
I agree.
I had alligator in America. Very disappointing. It tasted like tuna.
Typical New Orleans night. Very hot and humid. Went into a restaurant, sat down, live jazz music, looked at the menu, saw alligator steak. I thought, that's it, I've got to have that. There's a beautiful bit of meat as well. Really enjoyed it. Came with a Cajun sauce. And obviously, the whole atmosphere of the evening. Just fantastic, fantastic place.
Alligator meat has a texture like chicken, a little bit chewier, but it's actually a very soft meat, mild meat, up and down here in the tail, but up in the body it's a little more gamey, a darker type meat.
Well, tell you what, it's just like fishy chicken. And although alligator is a protected species, the meat is a multi-million-dollar industry here in the US of A. It's a good job they don't like eating us. Hey, Steve! Steve! I know what I need now after all those scary alligators. A nice soothing cup of tea. This is your final meal? This is your swan song to life? Is it still going to be a cream tea?
No doubt about it. I think the beautiful fresh scones, nice and warm, straight out of the oven, the decadence of a good clotted cream, beautiful bit of strawberry jam, sitting outside, beautiful summer day. What more could make a man happy?
Yeah, I suppose. It certainly deserves being the top 50. Tempting indeed. At number 18, it's that Sunday lunchtime favourite. It's the lovely, luscious lamb. But, as is often the case, it's not just what you eat, it's where you eat it.
We decided that we were going to go and have dinner on one of the Greek islands, on one of the cliffs overlooking the sea, watching the sun go down. The lamb itself that I chose is something called kleftiko, which is a slow-cooked lamb dish with cheese, with herbs, and then with the lamb itself, cooked for a long period of time in the slow oven. And it basically melts in your mouth when you actually sort of eat it. It's a beautiful meal.
At number 17, it's something rich, creamy, and delicious. Maybe just a little bit too delicious. Excuse me, is my table ready yet, please? Anthony Wall Thompson.
It's the dessert you've been looking for all your life. Chocolate mousse cheesecake. It's luscious, it's rich. Oh, and there's so much cream and chocolate. I just want a cheesecake that's got 1,000 calories a slice. I just love it.
Could I have the chocolate tuxedo cream cheesecake, please?
That is my favorite.
And also the chocolate chip cookie dough cheesecake.
Two.
Try the double chocolate one, which is absolutely gorgeous, fantastic, and out of this world. It's got to be tasted, it's got to be tried. I loved it.
And if I died and went to heaven on that piece of cheesecake, I'd be happy.
What you lot doing here? Don't tell the wife, all right? Now, this is just a little private matter. You know, I've been trying to cut back on the old calories. Look, come on, guys, just don't do this. Look. At number 16, firmly attached to rocks and submerged ropes and filtering up to 20 gallons of water per day, it's the Jean-Claude Van Damme of the shellfish world. It's the mighty mussel. Loads of you voted for these mouth-watering molluscs. But for Sally Duran, you can't beat the mussels from Brussels.
the memories that they bring back to me of eating them in Brussels when I was a child. And I remember seeing a big cauldron of mussels for the first time. And I remember the first time thinking they were very gory little things, and I remember picking one out with an empty shell. But when I put it in my mouth, it was a taste I'll never forget.
I love mussels, and I was swimming among rocks, and I saw some attached to the rocks. I said, okay, I can collect some. I didn't know where to put them. I put them in my trunk. They opened, they attached them to the pubic hairs. I was screaming. So don't do that, please, never.
Mussels, chips and cold beer. It might not have made the top 10, but it's still a winning combination. It's perfection on a plate. It's at number 15, and it's pasta.
It was my first visit to Venice, and one dinner I ate pasta. It was the most delicious pasta. It was just so soft and fresh. It was a ravioli stuffed with a seafood, and well, it was just divine. It was a beautiful dinner in a beautiful hotel in a beautiful city.
Pasta, you can have about 600 shapes of pasta, alone of the dried one. As we know, in many places, pasta is just, a plate of pasta. But if you really cook a plate of pasta à la perfection, it's something fantastic. It's enduring, it's pleasure, it's everything in once.
They're fun and quick, but flip them or they stick. At number 14, it's pancakes. They're traditionally eaten on Shrove Tuesday. Pancake races started in 1445, when a woman in the village of Olney, Buckinghamshire, heard the confession bell while making pancakes and ran to the church in her apron, still clutching her frying pan.
We were visiting a waterfall in Turkey, and we passed some Bedouin women who were sitting in a tent making some pancakes, and the different things they put inside were either meat, like a kind of mince with herbs, or a type of crumbly, salty feta cheese. It was nice because you'd eat it in the tent on these nice cushions with the beautiful setting by the side and the nice food.
At 13, it's never unlucky, it's the barbecue.
So much going on here. I think I'm going to start with a bit of barramundays. There are a few words in the English language that make my heart sink, like the word barbecue. How about a bit of that roux? Nice bit of kangaroo.
Just people getting drunk and burning things, as far as I can tell.
You know, when the sun's shining, you just can't beat a barbecue, can you? Once I was barbecuing at home, and I leaned over, this one I was a bit fatter, and I thought, what's that smell? And it was actually my gut.
It looks great from a distance, and as you get nearer, you can smell it. And as you get even nearer, you can taste it, and it's always rubbish.
Barbecues. Simply the best way to cook anything in the world. But would they make my number one? Oh, no. And while I'm still dithering over my choice, let's see where we have to go to track down your choice for number 12.
Let's go, San Francisco.
We decided we wanted something to eat, so I thought, well, San Francisco, you're going to have clam chowder.
What is clam chowder? It's a thick soup consisting of clams, fresh fish, vegetables, salt pork or bacon with cream or milk. The Americans are really proud of this historic dish, and it's even mentioned in the famous novel Moby Dick.
The amazing thing about having clam chowder down by the rock is that it comes in its own sourdough bread bowl. Gives a whole new meaning to finishing off your dish.
From one unusual-looking seafood dish to another, at number 11, these are Moreton Bay bugs.
Moreton Bay bugs! Oh my goodness. I come from around Moreton Bay and they are amazing.
Moreton Bay bugs are like a large crab and lobster combined into one. Very meaty, very fleshy, white meat, very tender.
Got them out of the fridge and they look revolting, really prehistoric, like a giant woodlouse but with more legs. Well, it's disgusting. But he cooked them up anyway on the barbie and they're absolutely delicious.
And it's one of those foods that straight away we just said, oh, we've got to have them again.
Give them a go if you're out there. They're worth a try, definitely.
Thank you. That's great. And the perfect introduction to your top 10 things to eat before you die. After munching our way through a fantastic and sometimes frightening 40 foods, who knows what old favourites or weird newcomers lie ahead of us?
Chilean fresh crab linguine.
We're feeling in the pink with juicy, delicious prawns.
We're in Dublin for the tall ships race, just for a few days break, and we came upon this little Irish pub down a side street. Irish music coming from it. We went in the door, Irish dancers up and down the aisle, and as our starter we had Dublin Bray prawns, and they were absolutely magnificent, and it made the whole weekend special and so memorable it was untrue.
I don't think that many people know it's a bottom feeder. Well, as soon as they know that, I think it's going to slip out of the top 10, and we're going to be lucky if we see it top 30.
It's such a long run for such a short jump, all this bit, and then you prick your finger on it, and then eventually you get the thing open, and you get about that much.
You certainly know your bindies from your bargies, because at number 9, it's that hot favourite, curry. And you really do love your curry. Chicken tikka masala has been voted the new national dish. And you can even get it as a pizza topping, if you like that sort of thing.
We go to a country and we say, hey, that curry's great, or hey, I like that pizza, and we pinch it, and we make it part of our national diet.
Now, Liz, you're a bit of a foodie, aren't you?
Well, I am when it comes to having food cooked for me, curry cooked for me, by my own chef on Ketu Valam, converted rice barge.
Wow.
Floating on the backwaters. He made the most fantastic dishes with ingredients that you wouldn't think would go together, like beetroot and okra and coconut.
Beetroot and curry, it's a bit strange.
No, it was wonderful. It was very different to anything that I've ever eaten before, and I don't think I could possibly recreate it at home.
There's just so much to choose from, and we've still got more to come.
And at number 8, we have another denizen of the deep.
Sharks, alligators, and now these crabs.
I told the producer that I didn't want to work under these conditions, but he told me I had to, because there was a clause in my contract.
When I was little, I was one of 10 children. My dad always had a crab on a Friday evening, and we used to sit round and drool while he ate it, only being allowed a leg if it was really good. We always promised ourselves we would buy one when we got older and eat it all to ourselves. This year, I managed to do it in Goa, in India, and it was a wonderful feeling to know I finally achieved my dream. It was wonderful.
It's the sweetest shellfish. The white meat is so juicy, the brown meat so savoury. It's everything you want food to be.
Your number 7, the Sicilians would definitely approve. It's pizza.
We're in New York, decided we wanted a pizza for lunch, and the best place to go had to be Little Italy. Pizza arrived at the table, and it was the biggest pizza I have ever seen. Tomatoes were very rich, the cheese very creamy, the garlic was fabulous, but the sausage was spicy, and it all just combined to make the best taste. It was fantastic.
We went specifically to Naples, which is the home of pizza, where it was invented in the 19th century. We were the only tourists in there, despite it being that famous. And you queued up with the locals and watched them gorge themselves at lunchtime on these enormous pizzas, which cost €2 each. It was amazing. Pizza should have cheese and tomato and maybe, if you're American, pepperoni, but otherwise that's it.
There was many a ripple of excitement caused by your choice for number 6. It's our most popular dessert, ice cream. Would you choose an ice cream?
Definitely.
Where would that be, in your top 10 or why?
Top 10. Top 10. About 5.
About number 5? Very close. He's good, isn't he?
It's beautiful, especially on a lovely day like today.
The ice cream cone was allegedly invented during the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. An ice cream seller ran out of serving dishes and used a rolled-up waffle from a nearby stall. The conical shape held the ice cream perfectly, and the cone was born. In the UK alone, there are tens of thousands of ice cream flavours, everything from garlic to beer. But good old-fashioned vanilla remains the favourite.
Now tell me, you have to choose an ice cream. What flavour would you go for?
Strawberry.
Mint chocolate.
Mint chocolate.
Raspberry.
Oh, vanilla.
Vanilla.
Yeah, classic never lets you down.
First thing in the morning or last thing at night, I don't mind when I eat it.
There you go, number 6, ice cream. Halfway through the top 10, and we have Chinese food. Did you know that after the United States, China's the second largest fast food market in the world?
I voted for Chinese food, not in general, but specific to a time in my life when we lived in Hong Kong. We became friends with a Chinese couple of sisters, Belinda and Loretta Leong. They took a shine to me, invited me into their home. We had real basic Chinese food, which I've never been able to recreate. My memory gets warmer as the years go on, I suppose. But to be able to sort of share a meal with them again would just be wonderful.
We're really turning up the heat now, and we stay in the east for your number 4.
Thai food is one of my favourites, so I'm surprised it's as low as 4, because I put that as numero uno.
You never ever eat that much of it because you always very quickly come in contact with something prohibitively hot that just completely puts you off eating.
It's just the biggest buzz on earth.
You really go for this cuisine that's hot and spicy, mild and fragrant. It's the wonderfully aromatic food that awaits you in Thailand.
We were in Thailand as teachers and arrived to the most amazing smells emitting from this roadside cafe. And we were tempted in. We had a huge steaming bowl of it, lemongrass, ginger, egg fried rice, chicken, prawns, cashew nuts, all for the price of 20 pence. And it just really hit the spot. We were starving.
At number 3, a dream result for meat lovers everywhere. We're talking steak. So many of you voted for so many different types of steaks from all over the world. There was
Chateaubriand, there was steak tartare, there was sirloin steak, porterhouse steak, ribeye steak, fillet steak.
Minute steak, skirt steak.
Buffalo steak, teriyaki sirloin steak, filet mignon, carpet.
It goes on and on and on. We were staked out. But there's one particular steak that stood out for you, a very special type of steak.
If you've never been to Japan before, you really should try Kobe beef. Kobe beef is so different to normal beef because when you put it into your mouth, it almost dissolves. It tastes like it's been cared for properly.
We decided that we wanted to produce some of that beef over here too because it is exceptionally delicious. Because it's the Japanese belief that giving them massage and feeding them beer relaxes them, and a happy cow makes for, by far, the tastiest meat. Over here, we've invented a machine to massage the animals, which they love. They can enter it whenever they want, and they do the whole time. They queue up for it. You don't want to overcook these steaks, otherwise the fat will disappear out. You just need to sort of warm it up and mobilise this fat, and it melts into the muscle and gives a fantastic flavour.
The phrase to beef about things means to complain, but I can tell you, if I had to live like this, I wouldn't be complaining.
It's a luxury food, expensive, it's got those lovely claws.
It's just a big, slightly frightening prawn.
And what are they talking about? It's the lovely lobster.
15 years ago, we used to go down to West Wales on family holidays, and I was watching a couple of the local fishermen, and they were bringing back the odd lobster or two, so I thought, well, if they can do it, why shouldn't I? So we got some kits and built some pots, and we had a small boat, and we used to take them out, put them in little rocky coves, and lo and behold, we caught some lobsters, and we've been doing it ever since. The great thing about lobster is you've got to eat it fresh, and it is so moist and so delicate, and with that tremendous fresh taste of the sea.
I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised you've chosen lobster as number 2, because it's something normally rolled out for special occasion, and it can be quite expensive too. But who cares about the overdraft, eh? Especially if it's something you're going to eat before you die. So, which food has won? What did you vote to eat before you die?
The good old British curry.
I think a good traditional roast dinner.
Something rather comforting, like treacle pudding.
Something way off the exotic scale.
Is it a burger?
Would have to be chocolate.
A good steak is impossible to beat.
It's going to have to be something Indian.
The fantastic English roast has got to be up there somewhere.
Precious, delicious things like truffles, things that'd be amazing things that you'd want to taste before you shuffled off this mortal coil.
The moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 thing to eat before you die is... Your number 1 gold medal winner is... fresh fish!
That's amazing, because I love fish.
I think roast beef should have been number 1. It's British, it's good for you, and more people should have voted for it.
I like fresh fish, but no, it's got to be Yorkshire puddings or reindeer meat.
I would have thought it would be really sort of unusual things, but fresh fish, wow.
Fresh fish is delicious, especially fish and chips with hot mushy peas.
Yeah, you can't beat a good fish and chip.
It's typically British and deserves to be number 1, I think.
Can be sat on the beach, fancy hotels or seafood. Love it.
We lost count of how many of you voted for fresh fish at this legendary place called Doyle's. So here it is. Let's go and find out what all the fuss is about, shall we?
We were there about 10 years ago and had the most wonderful meal.
It's a stunning location for a restaurant. You've got the city skyline laid out in front of you. You've got bush up to your right-hand side. You've these million-dollar yachts surrounding you. The seafood is caught fresh every day.
And those fish and chips tasted like absolute nectar. I've never tasted fish and chips like it. Washed down with a nice ice-cold glass of Chardonnay.
Yeah, all the best. I'm really looking forward to this. There's so much seafood on here, it's really difficult to decide, isn't it? But I'm going to go for the South Australian sea farmed kingfish.
Fantastic,
How about that? Great. Brilliant. Hey, guys, check out the view. I have to admit, you made an excellent choice. But the perfect choice of food can enhance any location. Oh, fish and chips. Great. It's funny how it's the simplest dish, the first one you think of, ends up being the last thing you want to eat before you die. What are you doing there? Hey, so what's the last thing you'd want to eat before you die?
I've had a bit of cod, but I've never had, would you believe it, a nice big juicy lobster.
Why not? It's so fantastic.
I know, I've never had it. Maybe it was a bit too much money back in the day, but anyway, because you ain't told us what will be your last meal before you die.
That's a difficult question, actually, Mo, because it's so difficult to decide, you know? I'm still thinking about it. I'm going to think about it now. Nice to see you, man.
Well, I'll see you soon, boss,
Take
all
it
right?
easy. All right.
Take care, mate.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Stop dithering, Ainsley. Get a grip.
What is your big suggestion?
Make your mind up, just get on with it.
I got it. A nice thick piece of tuna, char grilled with beautiful peppered corns on top, served with some sweet potato chips and a garlic chili mayonnaise. Now that is to die for.
If you've missed any of this list, remember you can get it online at bbc.co.uk/food, along with a whole slew of recipes to try, featuring these fabulous foods.
Feeling hungry now? How about a feast of stars coming up in the presence of the Prince of Wales? The Royal Variety Performance takes the stage. Next, here on BBC One.